America being a world power and having a lot of experience in the fight against terrorism could greatly help our country combat Boko Haram. And why not also help us in solving the current Anglophone crisis in our country?
Over the years, what we see is that the Western leadership, including the United States, they are losing what we call as the high moral ground. So, I mean, it's very difficult for people like us to justify what the United States has been doing recently and also in the past. So it's sort of giving us a rethink of how the world functions. Maybe the world does not function along human rights long. Maybe it's all just power politics. So a sort of reality check to observers like us and more defensive position when we talk about democracy and human rights.
All right, and it's time for us now to talk matters fashion. Remember, we'll also be talking to Ahu not too long from now and finding out, well, about her new song. And I understand there's quite a lot that she's been up to other than just music. So we'll be finding what that is. But for now, we'd like to talk matters fashion. And I'm joined by Atieno Ayegba from African Treasure Chest. Thank you for joining us this morning. I also have Sean Thompson from S-Fire Production. And basically, what you guys do is promoting African fashion abroad, not just in the U.S. Let me start with you, Atieno. Why you're in Kenya? I know you're from Atlanta, Georgia, but what brings you to Kenya?
Well, we are coming for Reignite Kenya, part of Women Let's Rock. So this is...
Just hold the mic close to yes. Yeah, there you go.
Can you hear clearly now?
Yeah, that's clear.
We are coming for Reignite Kenya, part of Women Let's Rock. And what it does is enable women to know that they have so much more that they can do. And if they're feeling stuck somehow for particular reasons, we have various workshops that enables them to be able to learn various things. So we have Women in Media, we have the Do You workshop, we have the Cancer Awareness workshop. So it's just letting them know that they can find power in themselves and be able to do stuff.
So this is not just about fashion. You also have something that you do towards, empowering women.
Yes, yes.
Okay. And Sean, you're also part of that troop that has come to empower women as well.
I am. As a male figure, it's always important to be supportive. And as well, there's so many great individuals, with so much wealth of knowledge and information to give. Why not come support? Why not be a part of that?
Absolutely. So okay. Now, I know you deal with a lot of African fashion and promoting African fashion out there. And, as I was thinking about this interview, my first question was, what is African fashion? Is it just print? What defines African fashion, Atieno?
African fashion to me, and I think fashion actually is it's based on your individual perception of what you think it is. So fashion as a whole to me is the manner in which you express yourself. So when we say African fashion, it's based on African artifacts. We have print, we have art, we have so many, there's dance, there's food. So when you look at it that way, it's what aspects of that are the ones that enable fashion. So it's print, it's accessories, it's shoes, everything.
I take special notice to your shoes, which are very unique right there with a lot of print. Sean, do you agree that African fashion is more of an African expression, which is individualized? But how do you categorize it and say this is African?
The way I look at it, when you talk about African fashion, I look at what identifies me. As far as art, my culture, my history, what identifies me as an individual of African descent. So it's not necessarily just based in Africa, but the people of African descent, what identifies us to be able to express our art, our culture, our history, and being able to embrace that and express it. That's what I look at when I see African fashion, African culture, African history. That's my identification.
Yeah, okay. And how do you go about promoting that? How do you go about ensuring that reaches the rest of the world?
First of all, I represented myself because I love the fashion, I love the flair.
The microphone, sorry.
I represented myself because I love the fashion and I love the flair. And how I represent it to the rest of the world is showing the rest of the world how they can wear it based on their personalities. So it's not stuck one way or another. So like right now, I have my shoes, I have my black, and then I have my headband, and that's just my style and my flair. So having the people understand that you don't have to wear it completely one way or another. It's take a piece, you like it, you like how you look in it, add your flair, add your style, add your swag to it, and then just, you know,
be you, just be you.
Yeah.
And Sean, do you find that there's maybe a challenge, especially in perception, when you're trying to market the African, attires out there? Because there's already a perception of what should be African. You know, you should somewhat be a skin, or maybe there should be a spear somewhere. Do you have those, what did I call them, tendencies for people to have a stereotype of what it should be?
You know, first and foremost, when I look at it, I take ownership. Because I know and believe that it's mine. So I take ownership. And from ownership, like I said, I express my identification, my identity. My identity. Like in S.5 production, I'm the creative director of the fashion shows and the photo shoots. So basically what I do, I look at what can I bring to be able to express who I am. Not only who I am, but represent my people as a whole. So that's what I do.
All right. And Atieno, this meeting that you're having in Kenya, who are you bringing on board? Who is it that is coming to empower these women?
It is actually the CEO of this is Grace Oguda, and she lives in London. So what she did is she got a bunch of people. We have friends from London coming down. We have friends from the United States coming down. We have friends locally in Kenya who are all running their workshops. So Ntokozo is here in town. She arrived yesterday, and she's going to be part of the workshop. So we're going to have praise and worship. It's going to be at Sitam Karen, and there'll be the workshops that we run, and then we'll have praise and worship after that.
Okay. Sean, what part are you playing in now empowering? Is it just, like giving a speech? What?
You know what part I play? I'm actually being able to communicate with the individuals, the male roles, the male figures, as far as being able to inspire and motivate their partners, their female counterparts, to be the best that they can be. So
all right. Well, interestingly, we had a discussion yesterday where we were looking at the boy child and whether the boy child has been neglected. What's your take on that? And this is a global question. It's not just, to do with Kenya.
I believe there was a time, and maybe it still goes on, where the girl child was neglected, and so society took the girl child upon themselves to educate them and to
empower them.
Absolutely. But yes, was the boy child neglected? I think so. But are we catching up on it where we're ensuring that the boy child is taken care of now? I believe we are. So it's also taking ownership and stating, yes, maybe they were neglected, but how can we fix it now?
All right. And still, as we talk about the girl child and the empowering that you're doing, how important is the male voice for the girl child also to be empowered?
How important it is for the male voice for the
male voice to be in that conversation? Because what happens is that you find many organizations, people tend to think that it's driven by female, but it's important to have the male voice also validate and stand behind the girl child as well.
Exactly.
Absolutely,
that's
right.
The reason why, that's the reason for the men to be there, to be able to motivate and inspire not only the male figures to be able to say that, listen, it's okay by being second and supporting your woman to be first. It's okay not to be limited in your understanding of how you see the world, to be able to express yourself. But at the same time, just like you mentioned, the voice of a male child is the father figure and the protector of the female. So she gets that first from home. And if once she receives that love and support, she'll be able to express all avenues.
All right. And possibly your objective of the meeting, what is it that you'd hope to achieve by the end of it?
At the end of the meeting, we hope that women come out of their shells. So if they feel stuck one way or another, giving them tools to empower them, practical tools, because sometimes you can have conversations where you just talk, but how are they going to fix it, right? But the workshops will enable them to give them practical steps on how to empower themselves.
All right, and maybe your parting shot on what people should expect when they come there. When I come into anything, I would come out, expecting to have gained something. What is it that I'll gain from this meeting?
With this meeting, I expect a lot of people to have a wealth of knowledge. You know, again, there's magical moments that they should embrace, a lot of information given, and I feel that, you know, they will come out lighter, they will come out with a direction of where to go and how to move